Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We are looking at a budget deck, a very budget deck. I kept this under $20. This is Kess Dissonant Mage using adventures. As I'm going to talk about, adventures allow you to keep kind of just making this a loop where you keep casting things from your graveyard, casting it from exile, goes to your battlefield, back to your graveyard, and around and around and around. I'm going to be copying and drawing cards and just... For under $20, this is a lot of deck, let me tell you. I like this one. Anyway, please hit like and subscribe. Part 1, The Commander. We're going to talk about Kess and what she does. So this is Kess Dissident Mage for 1, a blue, a black, and a red. So a Grixis commander. She is a flying 3/4, and during each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If a card cast that way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. So this lets you recast things. That's very useful. Having recursion for your instants and sorceries is a big advantage, but they're gone forever once you do that recursion, right? Or are they? This is actually a commander or a card I got from the 2017 Arcane Wizardry precon, which was probably the worst choice out of the precons for that, but it... You know what? I don't need the Ur Dragon or anything. Or Edgar Markov, yeah. Anyway. So, our way around this limitation of the exiling after casting from the graveyard is we're going to be using adventures. Adventures are very useful little things. They do cost a bit more, but we got all kinds of cost reduction in this deck. So we're going to cast from our graveyard and exile it right away to the adventure, and you can cast it again as a creature, put it back in your graveyard, and then just cycle it around. So we're turning this into like a cycle rather than, cast it twice this out of the game. Very big advantage there because you can always just keep things going to your graveyard. Having your creatures die is very useful for you, so you get to play really fast and loose with your creatures because you're just going to keep throwing them back out on the battlefield, and once they're in the graveyard, that just sets you up for the next phase. There are 24 adventure cards in this deck to loop, so we are not going to have a problem finding things to keep pulling out of our graveyard. The price for this deck is crazy low. It's only $18.55. Actually, this is like last week value, so it might be up a little bit, but it's under $20, which is, even for my budget decks, is very, very low. Again, the objective is to make the adventures into this loop that we can just keep using over and over. I don't want to use the term infinite because that has another meaning in Magic, but it is, you can cast them endlessly, once per turn. Anyway. As usual, the deck list is on moxfield.com if you want to check it out. Give it a look. Part 2, the key cards. So what are the cards that get work done in this deck? So the high synergy cards are our Maestro's Ascendancy, first of all, for a blue, a black, and a red. This might sound a little bit weird at first, but yeah. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard by sacrificing a creature in addition to paying its other costs. If a spell cast this way would be put into the graveyard, exile instead. So basically, it's cast its ability a second time, but you also sacrifice something. We want to keep our creatures going to the graveyard so we can recast them as, adventures, so that's actually extremely useful. This is also a backup. If someone wants to take out your ability to keep casting from your graveyard, they're going to target your commander, and if this is on the battlefield, well, there's less incentive to target your commander. So kind of has three useful things here. The sack outlet, the recasting, and a backup for Kess. So yeah. And next up we have Auric Lord Mage for 2 black. I love this card. I'm glad I was able to find a good use for it. This 3/3 has tap, search the library for a card, any card. Put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. If it's an instant or sorcery card, put a +1/+1 counter on Auric Lord Mage. So he gets +1/+1 counters for throwing instants to sorceries into your graveyard. which is what we want to do anyway. Just like an amazing card for this deck, and yeah, not hard to like turn into. Just it's a tutor. It's a tutor that you can tap for 0 mana every turn and get whatever spell you want, and just as long as this is on the battlefield, you're pretty much able to do anything you want at any time. Like, ooh. Next up, we have Scalding Viper for 1 and a red. This is an adventure, so it has Steam Clean for 1 and a blue, which is fun. I mean, thematically fun. This is a sorcery adventure. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Again, 1 and a blue. You probably want to just pay 1 blue for that, but we're going to have lots of ways to reduce that casting cost to only 1 blue, so it'll get done easily enough. Also, you can just bounce someone's commander back to their hand if their commander's a hassle, or to just create a gap, all of that. Anyway, the reason I have this on here is whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value 3 or less, Scalding Viper deals 1 damage to that player. Most of players' deck is mana value 3 or less, right? So they're going to take 1 damage pretty much just for playing their deck. And possibly more than 1 per turn. Pinging is a big sub-theme in this deck, so yeah, we want to be able to do that so we can keep like just lowering them down bit by bit, softening them up for that killing blow. Next up, we have Cloak of Invisibility for only 1 blue. This is an enchant creature. Enchant creature gains phasing and cannot be blocked except by walls. Doubly useful in Commander, right? We have phasing, which is great for our commander because we really only want her on the battlefield during our turn for this casting effect. And if she's phased out, they can't target her always, right? So this is great protection for your commander, who's probably going to be like a high priority target. Also can't be blocked except by walls, makes the commander damage option real enticing. And we do have a pretty good commander damage win con in this deck, so something to think about. And finally, Riptide Laboratory. This is a land you can tap and pay 1. Tap for 1 colorless. You don't pay 1, you get 1 from lands. And pay 1 in a blue to tap it. Return target wizard you control to its owner's hand. This is another way to protect Kess. You can just bounce her back to your hand if anyone's going to target her with something, and you don't have her face out or anything. Just bounce her back to your hand, and there you go. She doesn't end up in the graveyard or the command zone. You do have to recast, but you know what? I guess if you had to do it more than once, you'll end up saving mana for that. Like, it costs basically the same if you're only using it once, but if you're doing this multiple times, remember it would be 2 to recast it the first time, 4 the next, 6 the next. So yeah, if she would have gotten taken out 2 or 3 times, you're saving up to like 6 mana. Anyway. We also have, I believe, 3 other wizards in this deck, so you could use this to save another creature too. Part 3, the plan, alright? This is the deck objectives and how we win with the deck. First of all, as always, ramping, fixing, especially in Grixis. I have a Grixis shirt today. I'm so proud of myself. I got this black and purple cat shirt. I feel like Grixis Witch. This is like the Grixis Witch shirt for sure. Black and purple, and yeah, a cat. I think I nailed my shirt game on this one. Anyway, enough ranting about my Temu shirt. First up, ramping and fixing. Second, adventures, of course. Third, spell slinging. And fourth, actually into our next section, we'll talk about winning with this deck. Because we want to win, right? Alright. Seething Landscape. This land, you can tap for colorless. Or you can tap and sack it, search your library for a basic island, swamp, or mountain card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So if you need mana fixing, you can do it with this, and you can also just tap it for colorless if your mana's all sorted. Or you can cycle it for a blue, a black, and a red, which is expensive for cycling, but you never know. You can cycle this and draw a card. It's an option, options are good. Grixis Panorama, next up, is tap for a colorless, pay 1 and sack it to go get an island, swamp, or mountain card, put on the battlefield tapped. Pretty much the same thing, except it costs 1 mana. Still useful to have because we want either mana fixing or like just tap it for mana. That flexibility is just amazing. Next up, this one is on one of my lists for like best budget tutors, Gem of Becoming. For 3 mana, this is 3 to cast this artifact and 3 to tap and sack it. You search the library for an island, swamp, and a mountain, not or, and. You get 3 lands. They go to hand. They do not go to the battlefield. 3 lands to your hand. All the basics you need for the deck. Like, that is actually really solid. Next up, we have World Map, also on my list. For 1, this artifact is basically like a Wayfarer's Bauble. You can pay 1, tap and sack it to search a library for a basic land, put it in your hand. Or pay 3, tap and sack it, search the library for a land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So you can go get any land you want. If you're looking to upgrade this deck, putting in some like really fancy lands becomes like enticing, because with World Map you can just go tutor them out. So yeah. Otherwise, mana fixing is very nice. And we got Carmella, Grammar Thief. English teacher here, if you can't tell. Glamour Thief. Anyway. 1 blue, black, red for this legendary rogue vampire. She's a 2/4 with haste. Haste is very nice on mana dorks. And you can pay 1 and tap her to add a blue, a black, and a red. So she not only gives you mana, she gives you like everything you need to cast all of your spells. Spend this mana only to cast instant and or sorcery spells. That's really all we really want to do most of the time. So when she dies, return up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Again, not all of our instants and sorceries are adventures, so we are going to like be able to like pull something out of our graveyard and recast it with this as well, or target one of your adventures. You know what? Either way is fine. Moving on to the adventures, we got Lucky Clover. It's a really, really big one in this. For 2 mana, this artifact, whenever you cast an adventure, instant or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. So all of these spells we're looping over and over, we're going to copy them every single time. Oh boy. We got Chancellor of Tales. 3 and a blue for this fairy advisor. It is a flying 2/3, and whenever you cast an adventure spell, you may copy it. Choose new targets for the copy. So yeah, we can copy things twice. Twice being 2. Anyway, yeah, the advantages really stack up quickly. And Storyteller Pixie for 3 and a blue. This is one of our wizards, a flying 3/3. Whenever you cast an adventure spell, draw a card. Card draw is always nice, sure. We've got Law's Hands. I always feel like I'm saying lozenge, but yeah, Law's Hands. Dragon's Legacy for 3 blue red. This is a 4/2 flying dragon shaman, and whenever you cast an adventure spell or a dragon spell, not a lot of dragons. I think we do have a couple, but adventures crazy, yeah. Law's Hands, Dragon's Legacy deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to target that isn't a commander. So that includes players, right? So we're going to keep casting these spells over and over, and we can make copies, and we can draw cards, and we can start pinging as well. Next up, we have our Spellslinger subtheme. Cornered by Black Mages for 1 black. This is a sorcery, not an adventure though, but target opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. I love this effect because things like Indestructible, Hexproof, Shroud doesn't care. You're targeting the other player, you are not targeting the creature. And create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. So you're going to start just pinging everyone every time you cast a spell. Remember, you can cast this again from your graveyard, making 2 of those. Meaning, yeah, that it really starts to add up quickly when you're doubling down. Case of the Ransacked Lab. For 2 and a blue, instant source spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. That cost reduction is great. And to solve, you cast 4 more instant source spells on your turn. I feel like this is actually pretty doable. Once it's solved, whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. So you're going to cast things from your graveyard, put them into exile, meaning you get to cast them again. And every time you do that, you're going to draw a card and maybe copy and maybe draw another card. And just, oh boy. And another Black Mage card here. We've got Black Mage's Rod for 1 and a black. This has job select. When it comes in, it makes that creature it's attached to, or when you attach it to a creature, equip 3. It becomes a wizard. Very nice with Riptide Laboratory, meaning you can just bounce it straight back to your hand if you want. It would become unequipped, but maybe it's worth it. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. And is a wizard in addition to its other types. So yeah, really stacking up that pinging effect. Fiery Inscription. So yeah, this is 2 and a red for this enchantment. It enters the battlefield. The ring tempts you. Sure, you're not going to go through all of that, but whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this deals 2 damage to each opponent. Again, so we've got these like Black Mages and anything that's equipped with the Black Mage Rod and Fiery Inscription. If even 2 of those are active and Fiery Inscription, that's 4 bonus damage per spell. That's more than a lightning bolt to every opponent every time just casting a spell. And 1,000 Year Storm, 4 blue-red for this whenever you enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant and sorcery you cast this turn. Before it, you may choose new targets for the copies. So yeah, this is going to get out of hand pretty quick. It's really, as long as you plan which order you're doing things in, you've got your card draw going, you're probably going to be able to just lay down a whole bunch of these instants and sorceries and just keep like copying, and yeah, gets real out of hand quickly. Part 4, how to win. We want to win when we play games, right? So that's always a good thing to look at. All right, our commander damage when con, I mentioned before. A big one for this is Two-Handed Axe. It is an adventure artifact. So 2 and a red for this artifact. Whenever a creature attacks, double its power until end of turn. Equip 1 and a red. So you automatically double the damage this does. So if it's on your commander, you've essentially... It's not double strike. It actually is nice because it synergizes with double strike. And we've got, speaking of which, the Adventure Sweeping Cleave. For 1 and a red, this instance says, target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. So basically, if you cast this in as an adventure and then as an artifact and then equip it, which is not cheap, that would cost 7 mana altogether, but you've got like ×4 damage for your commander. I believe she starts as a 3, so if you get her to a 6, she's like one-shotting anyone, and she's a flyer on top of that, and maybe unblockable except by walls. And we've got other ways to give them blockable, but anyway. Ghost Lantern. For 1 black, this equipment is another adventure. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature. Equip 1. So yeah, we're going to keep like sacrificing with Maestros Ascendancy or some other way, and we've got other ways to sacrifice, right? Or just like throwing them at people and they kill them, and we need 3 +1/+1 counters on our commander, and then she can just start one-shotting. And for 1 and a black, it's an instant. Return target creature you control from your graveyard to your hand. Might be useful. We really want it for the second effect. And of course, the Cloak of Invisibility can't be blocked except by walls and phasing. Just makes it very easy to get through, especially with a flyer. Like a flyer that can only be blocked by walls, so they need a flying wall to stop you. Next one I'm calling Big Bump, when I can talk. Candlekeep Inspiration for a red for this sorcery. Until end of turn, creatures you control have base power and toughness XX, where X is the number of cards in exile in your graveyard, and instant or sorcery cards or adventure. Sorry, in your graveyard or exile, you have adventure cards or instant sorcery cards in your graveyard or adventure cards. So yeah, pretty much most of your deck is going to like give them this bump. All of your creatures. We do have a bunch of like token generators too, so yeah. And Cosmotronic Wave, one of my favorites. For 3 and a red, this deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. Not great for 4, but creatures your opponents control can't block this turn. So as soon as you lay this down, no more blocking. Especially, you remember, you get to cast this twice and exile it the second time from your graveyard, so it's kind of like a win con, just like ready to go. Next one is just soften them up. We have a whole bunch of pingers, so it's way too many to like count them all out, but yeah. There's different pingers that trigger from different effects. So we've already talked about some of the spell slinging pingers. We've talked about the Scalding Viper. When they cast spells, they're basically pinging themselves. We've got Loa's Hand. We talked about Scalding Viper, spell slinging cards. Again, there's too many for me to like go over without this turning into like an hour-long video. So I'm not going to. But softening them up is very easy to like get to the however you want to finish them off. We got lots of unblockable things or things that can be unblockable, so not hard to do. Alright, part 5, looking at being prepared. Knowing what to do and knowing the sub-themes so you can make the most of the deck. Alright, graveyard casting. Kess obviously does this, but we've also got things like Burning Vengeance. Whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, this deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Basically another pinger. Fuming Effigy. So whenever one or more cards leaves your graveyard, this does 1 damage to each opponent. Again, pinger. Unstable Amulet. I'm not saying the casting cost, sorry. Burning Vengeance was 2 in a red. Fuming Effigy is 3 in a red, and this is 1 in a red for this artifact. So when it enters, you get 2 energy counters, and whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, this deals 1 damage to each opponent. So again, when you cast it from your graveyard, this is going to deal 1 damage to each opponent, and from exile, this is going to deal 1 damage to each opponent. So this ends up doing 2 every time you're putting a card through that cycle. And you can tap pay 2, not pay 2 energy, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until you exile another card with Unstable Amulet. So you can exile the card, and it's not just until end of turn, it's until like you exile a different card, which you're probably not going to do. It's just like an extra card you can use. Maestro's Ascendancy we already talked about, but yeah, another way to cast from your graveyard and have a sack outlet. Alright, let's look at cost reduction. That's really important, partly because these adventure spells cost a little bit extra. We've got Stormcatch Mentor for a blue and a red. This is a 1 with haste and prowess, so every time you cast non-creature spell, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn, meaning this can get decent size. And instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Big effect in this deck for sure. Nightscape Familiar for 1 and a black. This is a zombie 1/1. Blue spells and red spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and you can regenerate it for 1 and a black. Gravebreaker Lamia for 4 and a black. This is a 4/4 with lifelink, and whenever this enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. Great setup there. And spells you cast from your graveyard cost 1 less to cast. So all of those things that we're casting from a graveyard and putting into the exile for adventure, you're just getting cost reduction on top of that. Mocking Sprite for 2 and a blue. This is a fairy rogue, a 2/1 flyer. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Hey, not too shabby. And Case of the Ransack Lab we talked about already. Again, this is an enchantment case for 2 and a blue. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and the whole solving card draw thing. Tokens very important little sub-theme here. Third path iconoclast for a blue and a red. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless soldier creature token. Again, this is a 2/1 I should have said, but hey, you know what? Those soldier tokens, why not? Next up, we have Young Pyromancer for 1 and a red. This is a 2/1 human shaman. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. Not too shabby, but the big one, Maniform Hellkite for 2 red. This is a dragon, one of our dragons, a 4/4 flyer. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX red dragon illusion creature token with flying and haste, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast the spell. Exile that token in the beginning of the next end step. So it is for 1 turn only, but you're going to just like be able to throw it at anyone you want. And hopefully you can cast a few things to get a few of these. And yeah, with mana reduction, they can actually be decent sized ones as well. So yeah, Maniform Hellkite, just very underrated, I think. Last up, we've got our tutor effects. So we've got Illicit Shipment for a 3 black. This is like one of my favorite tutors in the whole game. It has Casualty 3. So sacrifice a creature with 3 power and you get to copy this. That's what actually makes this good. But yeah, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. No revealing, none of that. Just go get a card and put it into your hand. This costs 5 mana, so if you don't have the Casualty 3, it is not worth it, but we want to send things to our graveyard anyway, so we're going to like love having access to this. Auric Lore Mage, we already talked about, 2 black. Just tap and go get anything from your deck, put it into your graveyard. Probably you want to put like an adventure into your graveyard, but any other instant or sorcery is possible. And finally, Mystical Teachings for 3 and a blue. Search your library for an instant card with flash. Sorry, for an instant or a card with flash. That's what I should say. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, and it has flashback 5 and a black. Again, we are not going to pay the flashback because we're just going to cast it again and exile it or bounce it back to our hand. And yeah, anyway, you get the point. Point is that we are going to be able to like tutor out any instant. It is limited to instants. We don't have anything with flash in this deck, so yeah, it is going to be an instant, but that is very useful too. And that's it for the whole deck, actually. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if there's a commander you would like to see done, because I have lots of ideas, but I don't know what people want to see. So anyway, take it easy.